What if I told you you could stop working at 40? Not take a vacation, not switch jobs, I mean done. No alarm clock, no Monday meetings, no waiting until 65. Sounds fake, right? It's not. It's called FIRE, Financial Independence, Retire Early. And no, it's not just for tech bros in Silicon Valley. Regular Americans are doing this. Teachers, engineers, nurses, freelancers. But here's the catch. It requires thinking differently, way differently. Let's break this down. First, let's clear something up. Retiring early doesn't mean sitting on a beach forever. It means you don't have to work. You can still work, start a business, travel, volunteer, but you're choosing, not surviving. That's the difference. Now here's the big idea behind FIRE. You build up enough invested money so that your investments pay your expenses, not your job. Your investments. Your money replaces your paycheck. Think about that for a second. If your monthly expenses are $4,000, that's $48,000 per year. If you could generate $48,000 per year from investments, why would you need a job? This is where the famous 4% rule comes in. Simple version. If you have 25 times your annual expenses invested, you can withdraw 4% per year, and historically, your money should last decades. So if you need $48,000 a year, multiply that by 25. That's $1.2 million. That's your FIRE number. Now, I know what you're thinking. $1 million? That's impossible. But wait, let's zoom out. The average American household income is around $70,000 to $80,000. But FIRE isn't about earning more only. It's about the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Because that gap, that's your freedom fuel. If you earn $80,000 and spend $75,000, you're stuck. If you earn $80,000 and spend $40,000, now we're talking. That $40,000 difference gets invested year after year. Compounding kicks in, and suddenly the timeline shrinks. Now here's the crazy part. Most Americans save 5% or less. People chasing FIRE, they save 30%, 40%, even 60% of their income. Sounds extreme? Yeah, but extreme focus creates extreme results. Think about it. If you save 10% of your income, retirement might take 40+ years. If you save 50%, you could potentially retire in 15 to 17 years. That's not magic, that's math. Let's make this real. Imagine you're 25 years old. You earn $70,000. After taxes, maybe $55,000. If you design your life to live on $35,000, you can invest $20,000 a year. Invested in low-cost index funds averaging 7 to 8% long-term, in 15 to 20 years, you're approaching financial independence at 40 to 45 years old, not 65. But wait, this doesn't mean eating ramen forever. This is where lifestyle design comes in. FIRE isn't about deprivation. It's about intentional spending. You cut what doesn't matter, you keep what does. Maybe you don't need the luxury car. Maybe you don't need the giant mortgage. Maybe you value freedom more than status. That mindset shift, that's everything. Now let's talk types of FIRE. There's lean FIRE. That's retiring early with lower annual expenses. Maybe $30,000 to $40,000 per year lifestyle. Minimalist, efficient, simple. Then there's fat FIRE. Higher income, higher savings, retire early but with a bigger lifestyle. Maybe $100,000 per year spending. And then there's coast FIRE. This one's interesting. You invest aggressively when you're young, then you stop contributing and just let compounding do the rest. You still work, but you're no longer pressured to save aggressively. It's like setting the rocket launch, then letting gravity do the work. Now let's address the elephant in the room. What if the stock market crashes? It will, at some point. It always does. But here's the thing. FIRE isn't about timing the market. It's about time in the market. Decades of investing, recessions included. Historically, the U.S. market has recovered every time. The people who panic lose. The people who stay invested win. And here's something people miss. FIRE requires identity change. You can't chase every trend. You can't upgrade your lifestyle every time you get a raise. You have to avoid lifestyle inflation.
You get a raise, most people upgrade apartments. FIRE mindset, upgrade investments. Big difference. Now let's talk practical steps. Step 1. Calculate your annual expenses, not your income, your expenses, because your FIRE number is based on spending. Step 2. Multiply by 25. That's your target. Step 3. Increase the gap. Either earn more or spend less. Ideally both. Step 4. Invest consistently in low-cost index funds. Not gambling, not chasing hype. Boring wins here. Now here's the emotional side nobody talks about. When you start saving 40 to 50% of your income, people will think you're crazy. They'll say, live a little. You only live once. You can't take it with you. But here's the counter. You're not sacrificing life. You're compressing the work phase so you can expand the freedom phase. Would you rather work 45 years or go intense for 15 to 20 and then have options forever? Let's imagine two friends. One spends everything, upgrades car every couple of years, new phone annually, vacations on credit. At 60, still working. The other saves aggressively, invests consistently, says no to some things. At 42, financially independent. Who really lived better? That depends on what you value. And no, you don't need to make 6 figures. Yes, higher income helps, but expenses matter more. If you can design a life you genuinely enjoy on less, you reduce your FIRE number dramatically. Lower expenses equals lower target. Lower target equals faster freedom. That's the secret. Now let's talk about fear. What if I retire early and get bored? Then work. Seriously. FIRE isn't about never working. It's about never needing to work. You can start a passion project, consult part-time, create content, teach, but you'll do it without financial stress. That changes everything. Here's another powerful concept. Geographic arbitrage. Earning U.S. income, living somewhere cheaper. Even within the U.S., high salary in New York, move to a lower cost state later. That gap accelerates FIRE like crazy. Now let's address discipline. You can't automate ambition, but you can automate investing. Set up automatic transfers, max out 401k, use Roth IRA, invest consistently, remove emotion, because motivation fades, systems don't. Let me ask you something. If you keep doing what you're doing now, where will you be in 20 years? Still trading time for money? Still waiting for Friday? Or financially free? Because here's the truth. Time will pass anyway. You'll be 45 someday. The only question is, will you still need a paycheck? Or will your money handle that? FIRE isn't easy. It requires focus, sacrifice, consistency. But it's simple. Spend less than you earn, invest the difference, repeat for years, let compounding do its thing. And here's the final shift. Stop asking, how can I retire someday? Start asking, how can I buy back my time as fast as possible? Because time is the real asset. Money is just the tool. Imagine waking up. No alarm, no financial stress, just choice. That's what FIRE really is. Not early retirement, freedom. And the earlier you start, the sooner that freedom becomes real.